Hey everybody, just thought I would go in here and today we're going to be doing a quick one on globalization. Sounds like quite the easy topic, doesn't it? Well, let's start out here. First, we'll take a look at this map. For those who are used to it over here in the western side of the world, we usually look at this map. This one happens to be a 2016 National Geographic map, so the information is about 5 years old. It was probably information that was a couple years old when this was made and it was released in 2016. So the information is probably at least 5 years old, if not somewhere around 5 to 10. There is landmass. For those of you who are used to seeing this is great. For those of you who are used to seeing something different, my guess is you're used to seeing something like this. For those who are not used to it, this is what half the world looks at when they see it. It is a map. Without a doubt, it is a map indeed. Let's see if we can't get a little bit better. There we go, a little bit less glare off the map, and I don't know if that's going to work. See if we can. Anyway, nonetheless, a little bit of glare. We've got some light. So those who can see, this is the Eastern Hemisphere. There's that. Hawaii is just about dead center. If you can look, I'll come down here so that the glare is down low. Hawaii. Bam! Right there. Looks like I gotta shorten this up so I can get, my arms aren't that long. Hawaii. Almost right in the freaking center. Right, so there it is. Understand something else. This right here, population density data, that's 2004 data. I don't know if you can see that. The red is over 500 people per square mile, right? Or more than 195 people per square kilometer. There is barely any spots over here in this entire western side that are like that. There are areas here that are as big as entire states that are that densely populated. We're talking about things that are like LA, New York, and some of that stuff. Little teeny tiny dots. Entire areas. In case you don't realize it, this is the most densely populated area on Earth. What does that look like? Here. 1.2 to 1.4, 1.2 to 1.4 billion people. Let's just go with 1.3. Let's hit the middle. 2.6 billion people. Then we got all this, a few hundred million between Japan and Malaysia and all of that. Half of the world's population lives here. I was going to do a really big, deep, super intellectual description about globalization and why. But I think this is just going to be easier. Look at that. See that? See that? See that? Half of the world's people live here. You know where the rest of them live? Everywhere else. I don't know how else to put this, but you guys, this is what globalization is. Yes, we want to pray for the home team. We want our home team to win. We got all of these giant continents with resources. There's tons of them. Then there's this. But let's just be real about this. Those people aren't going nowhere. So you want to talk about globalization here. What are we going to do with all these people? They got to have something to do. What are we going to do with all these people? Yeah? That's globalization. Right? You've got an entire area right here. Right? Look down here. In 2004, this entire area, right? Beijing, Tianjin, this area right here is as densely populated as New York City. Just soak that in for a little bit. That's the world. That's the other one. You want to look at it this way? Half of the world's people live here. Everybody else lives everywhere else. What are we going to do with all those people? Right now, they're becoming the global manufacturing center for humanity in the world for the main part. Yes, they're not always, and they're trying to find something to do with all their people. That's just the truth. We can talk about global politics. It would be nice if I had a map that has something like natural resources so you could see that, oh my gosh, the rare earth elements are almost all here. All of these mountains where you can see, like, and you went, waka, and smash right in there. All these things bring up all this amazing natural resource deposits. So neodymium, all those neodymium magnets, almost entirely from China. Almost all of it. Almost all of the world's supply right there. What are we going to do with all those people? What are we going to do with all the natural resources? There is a ton of it. China has a tremendous amount of natural resources. What are we going to do with it? We're trying to keep this all together, but they're trying they're South China Sea, man. South China Sea. They're building islands around here so they can keep it. They have an outlet right here. So this only leads to here. This is an outlet for trade through here. They can get out of there without going to the South China Sea, the Philippine Sea. Taiwan, right? South Korea, North Korea, Japan. So you start seeing all this. Here's where we're doing Philippines, all that. Then we start getting to Malaysia, Indonesia. What are we going to do with all these people? If you're saying screw them, they're not going anywhere. And they outnumber pretty much anyone else. Because here's the reality. All of that has the same amount of people as all that. That's globalization, man. We're all one people. We're all one planet. Getting it so that we're not destroying or determining that something like, well, you know what? China's already destroying a whole bunch of their things. So where it's destroyed, let's actually turn it into something. So yeah, globalization in a nutshell. Half of the world's population lives right there. What are we going to do with all the people? Industry, manufacturing, service, all that stuff. These people need to do stuff. Right now, they're just attacking everything they can. I mean, we're utilizing the resources and trying to do all this stuff, but can we? What are we going to do? They're going to build it for us. They're going to do that. We don't have. What are we going to do if we can't get superconducting magnets? What are we going to do if we can't get rare earth elements? What are we going to do if we can't do that? The pandemic has turned us back to semi-pre-globalization. It's hard to get stuff. The world is not set up unless we put forth the energy for us to be able to do global trade. So be it. Anyway, that was my quick little take on it. This was not an extensively intellectual one, but it really is a fine point on it. That's globalization. You're like, oh, the globalists. Yes, absolutely. Because you know why? Because that little country needs to be able to sell to all of them. And same with that. Our only markets can't be our internal ones. China and India are on the list. You know why? Because they have almost half of the world's population. They have a third of the world's people in two little places. This little spot and all up in here. Literally a third of the world's people in just those areas. If that isn't crazy to you, I don't think you're paying attention. If you're wondering just how the North Aral Sea, the South Aral Sea, they're basically gone now. Yeah, that's the map. That's globalization. I have maps up because this is as close as I can get to the overview effect that astronauts always talk about. I like it. This one's what most people are used to. This is, believe it or not, what other half of the world looks at. This is an eastern facing one, so it's weird to see for those of us that are used to it. It's weird to see it. But I like suggest to do it. Maps give you a wonderful view on the world. It makes it easy. Most people don't even know where most countries are, much less their own states. Anyway, this has been Drew and your dose of Drew. Globalization. Why? Because we need to do something with all those people. Those people, those people, those people, and those people all need stuff to do. And if we only sell to ourselves, we're limited to what our continents have. And many resources are spread all over the globe. And we need to share them. That's global trade. Anyone who says they're not after globalists is lying because they almost always get half of their stuff from some other country. So, yeah. Anti-globalism is a sham. There's a reality to both the humanity. If you see meetings about it, that's what it is. The meetings are a bunch of really smart, experienced people trying to manage things, going, what are we going to do with all these people, guys? What are we going to do with all these people? And that's the story of humanity, right? We keep making more. What are we going to do with them? What kind of life are we leaving this planet with when we're gone? What are we doing with it besides pillaging? That's globalism. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. You know what sucks? One or two people can't hold up the planet. And that's a scary, sad reality. They just can't do it. It should. We should have a few people like, hey, that's not right. Yeah, but you got 100,000 people over here working in a factory that needs something to do and can't stop just because you don't like it. There's a reality to globalism. Anyway, this is Drew. I'm signing off. There's globalism in a quick nutshell. Not very intellectually poignant, but hopefully straight to the point. If that doesn't help you understand it, by all means, like, comment, subscribe. Hell, if it does, please like, comment, subscribe, put a comment in there. Tell me to go take a flying leap. Tell me I'm so wrong. Tell me what you think is wrong. Tell me what it should be. If you have ideas, questions, comments, or just want to say so, put something down in there. This is Drew. This has been a dose of Drew. There you go.